That's it.
Great fight.
You're going to retain your title if you fight that way. You got to keep throwing to the body. It's the 8th round. We got 5 more. Let's give him a rub down. You got to be more.
This is Espadas through the first 2.5 minutes of that round, dominating Morales and seemingly presenting problems that Morales couldn't cope with.
But even when Morales
came back at the very end. He is a thoroughbred.
Oh yes, we figured that in the Barrera fight.
Guty Espadas landing 53% of his power shots in round 7 by CompuBox numbers. Letterman gave the round to Morales despite the CompuBox numbers that heavily favored Espadas. No doubt Letterman's opinion changed by those 2 left hooks at the end of the round.
I called it an even round, Jim. I didn't think either of the fighters deserved to lose it.
Well, I gave it to Espadas myself because he fought consistently the whole round. And even when he got hit at the end, he always came back with a follow-up punching. He never stopped punching.
Which brings up an interesting point. I think it's a tricky fight to score, and I think you could see 3 markedly different scorecards at the end of this fight from the judges.
Well, I think which may be a big factor. The first 3 rounds, which was primarily dominated by Morales, could be a big factor as the fight goes down the stretch.
Could make it tough for Espadas to come back and pull out a decision.
Playing catch-up.
Plus, anytime one guy is favored, as heavily as Morales has been favored here, the judges look a little bit extra hard to try to find those rounds that they think the favored fighter is winning. They want to be in the norm with the other judges, and they're a little reluctant to say, well, Guty's won 3 rounds in a row here because he's such a heavy underdog.
Yes, shouldn't be that way, but that's life.
That's the nature of the beast. I mean, this is subjective scoring. These judges sit as though in isolation booths. They don't know what the other judges are saying, but they do know that they could stick out like a sore thumb if at the end of the fight their card is the one that's totally different.
That's right, and they don't like to be. Everyone likes to be consistent.
Exactly. They want to be in the norm.
In fact, a lot of times after the fights, they have all of the officials over here and they critique them.
That's how Felix Trinidad was given rounds early in the fight against Oscar De La Hoya. The fight was so heavily ballyhooed, the judges just couldn't quite go to the point of saying that one fighter had won 6 or 7 rounds in a row.
They always try to leave it going down the stretch where there's still room and a possibility of the other guy winning. Even though he may have not won certain rounds, they start giving him those rounds because he did better than he did in another round.
Human nature. I gave the last close round to this guy, I'll give this close round to the other guy.
Well, given the subjectivity of scoring and the difficulty of scoring a fight like this, perhaps, I still trust Dwayne Ford and Jerry Roth, 2 of the better officials around. I don't know much about the 3rd official, Dave Harris of Texas.
Interestingly, because the Barrera-Morales fight was so close and the scoring so controversial, and because Guty Espadas is a friend of Barrera's from Mexico City, I thought when I asked him yesterday about that decision that he would say that Barrera had been the winner. Instead, he said exactly the opposite. He said, no, Morales won the fight. The judges judge. We fight. If they chose him the winner, he was the winner. That's that.
Yeah, let me correct myself. Dwayne Ford is not in this fight. The officials are Jerry Roth, Dave Harris of Texas, and Dick Flaherty of Massachusetts.
Thank you, David. And we'll see.
Get some water.
Erik, cuando haces tú tu pelea,
When
no
you
entres
gotta
a la
make your
pelea de
fight,
él.
don't do his fight, make your fight. You don't need to
Tú
exchange
estás dominando fácilmente.
punches like that.
Ganando la pelea, voy a salir y voy a tirar y voy a noquear.
You gotta be decisive. He doesn't want to fight. You got him. But if you don't fight, there's gonna be no fight. So let's make a fight.
Con Barrera se paró. Contigo no quiere nada.
Morales is a counterpuncher, basically. And here you see Espadas taking the fight to him. And Morales seems to be a little bit befuddled on how to counter him.
CompuBox numbers now favoring Espadas. In the last round, he landed 13 of 56 to only 5 of 36 for Morales. Harold Letterman scoring the round for Espadas. Fight appears to be getting closer still.
Well, I don't think that Morales has figured out how to fight Espadas at this stage still. And I think Espadas' biggest problem is he's just not an aggressive guy by nature as compared to a lot of the other top guys up there like Ahmed and Barrera. And that's been the biggest difference. He's just still a little too relaxed, too laid back. And by the same token, Morales has not figured out exactly how to be effective with Espadas because his style is giving him a lot of problems.
Larry Merchant making an interesting observation earlier when he said that he didn't think Morales had taken Espadas seriously enough. Eric may be learning a lesson here about how you have to be ready every night in boxing now.
There's no such thing as a safe fight.
Right hand for Espadas.
As Morales backs back, he stays straight up. He doesn't seem to go underneath the punches of that hand. Espadas, by stretching out that right hand a lot longer and being taller than most of the guys that he's fought, he's able to reach Morales. As Larry said earlier, he's not used to fighting tall guys. And normally when he pulls back, the short guys would be short. But Espadas' long arm seems to catch him. He's straight up again.
Espadas is dictating the tempo of the fight.
And Morales is not throwing punches.
And he's backing straight back and wide open for long right hands.
Morales appears to be waiting for one big shot, which is no way to fight a guy who is as comfortable and in rhythm as Espadas has been in the last few rounds. Big right hand from Morales. But he doesn't step all the way in. Tries to go to the body. Espadas looking to counter.
The Espadas is so relaxed, and that's what's troubling.
That's right. And Morales wasn't comfortable going in. Now he lands a left hand. Morales worried that Espadas was playing possum there.
Yeah, he tried to get a good shot, but he's been able to take the punches because he sees it coming.
Tell you one thing, if Morales had a fight against Prince Nassim and he backed straight out with his head up as often as he's done it here, Naz would try to take advantage of that.
He could not beat a Prince Nassim fighting the fight that he's fighting tonight. And I'm not just saying because I'm involved with Prince. Prince is special. He's a tremendous one-punch puncher. I'd probably say he and Mike Tyson may be the best two single one-punch punchers in boxing. And for to be 126 pounds, that's amazing.
Guty, you need to move. You can't just fight in spurts the last 5 seconds of a fight. You got to throw punches. Make sure you throw to the body. Your obligation is to fight, so let's fight.
Pero de todos nos presiona más en estos 3 rounds para que lo asegures bien.
We need more pressure from you. The last 3 rounds, you got to put a lot of pressure. You got to put pressure. Throw body punches.
Morales had a good flurry inside on the ropes. Uppercut, right hook. But I had to score even after 9 rounds, 4 rounds apiece, and 1 even.
Harold Letterman, how do you have it through 9?
Larry knows he big rounds will kill you.
Okay, 5 rounds to 4, 86-85, Erik El Terrible Morales.
Jim, I got to tell you, the guys that are winning the rounds are the guys that are punching. And in the last 2 rounds, Erik stopped punching. So Guty Espadas made it real close. He's caught up tremendously. I got 5 to 4. It's about as close as you can get. If Guty will start to move his hands, he'll win the fight. If Erik will keep throwing that right hand over the top, he'll win it. If they both look at each other, we got a problem.
5-4 is not as close as you can get it. 4-4-1 is as close as you can get it.
All right, you two boys settle down over there.
Usually in close fights, going down the stretch, the guy with the better hand speed usually can pull the fights out. In that case,
he releases his hands.
Morales should pull it out normally because he's got better speed. But, you know, it's really a case, as Larry was saying, and Harold, who throws the most punches is who's winning the round series.
I'm just amazed at the amount of respect that Morales is still showing Guty Espadas. You would think that the Erik Morales we've seen in the past would simply open up, let his hands go, and try to rip Espadas out of there with his activity level and his punching power. Yeah. He's not doing it.
No, he's not.
But just let's also throw this into the mix, that this is the first serious fight he's had since the Barrera fight. And maybe that could take something out of him.
Well, there were no signs of it in his knockout of Kevin Kelly in El Paso.
Well, Kelly at his age is not on the level of these guys.
One minute left of the 10th. Championship rounds waiting. They're still throwing punches at more like a light heavyweight rate than a featherweight rate. A long right hand touches the chin of Espadas for Morales. Morales showing a bigger activity level now, moving his feet anyway and trying to release his hands.
The speed and natural physical coordination is going to probably pull him through the winning decision, but it's still not the performance that he should have gave tonight, because Espadas was a basically fundamental fighter.
Fight is so close and tactical enough that the rooters for the two fighters don't really seem to know how to react. They haven't had the big chance. We expected to hear Guty, 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 Terrible, Terrible, Terrible. We haven't heard it. I think people are puzzled by what they're watching here.
I am.
It's not what they expected. It's as close to a chess match as these two kinds of fighters can get.
I think people are thinking of maybe a more milder version, but very similar to the Barrera fight still.
Now you're doing it. Now you're giving them a lesson. You got to be more alive. We got 2 more rounds. Don't be overconfident. Guty, don't you want to win this fight? Then put something in there. You know what you're doing? You're moving around like you're throwing one punch at a time.
Morales showed a little bit more life in this fight. That right hand and another right hand later on probably won him the round.
Espada didn't do all the